Hey guys, how's it going? It's Target here. Welcome back to another episode of the Buffalo Sabres Be a GM. So it is February 1st, and we currently sit well out of a playoff spot. Things are not looking good, despite actually having a respectable club icing a good lineup. So I turn to you guys, and I'm going to try and remove myself from some of these comments, because if you make it personal, then we're not going to get anywhere. And I know that a lot of these are not personal attacks on me, and I realize that, but some of them are personal attacks. Either way, we're going to address some of the comments that we got and take a look at some of the options. Because a lot of people say, God damn it, you don't read any of the comments, you don't do what we say. But that's not true. I take everything you guys say into consideration, and I either say, yeah, that's a good idea, or I say, no, that's an absolute shit idea. Or it's something we can kind of keep, on the back burner, depending on how things go. So, I mean, I'm not going to read all of them off. I'm not going to read too many. Like, literally, one of the ones I have is, holy fuck, Target, trade fucking Eric Staal for a fucking younger roster player. The John Gibson trade is fucking unrealistic, and suck my balls. That is literally a comment being said. Now, I've got a lot of people giving good stuff, like, players can outdo their potential if you play them right. That's why DeHaan got to 85. Same deal with the other players. You're right. They can sometimes do that. I got another guy that says you should trade Eric Staal for a top 6 forward with great passing and puck skills. I think that Eric Staal has those skills. We'll get into this shortly. You know what? To be completely honest, what I'm going to do right now is we're going to go into coaching options. I'm going to edit the lines, and I'll show you what we've got on this top line. So I think trending throughout this thing are maybe 2 or 3 main points, and there's one that I think might be worth exploring for sure. Number one is people say to trade Eric Staal. All right, we want to trade Eric Staal. Now, Eric Staal is 35 years old. He's not getting any better. He's going to be, 86, maybe 85 next year. So he's not going to be sticking around for very long. There's going to be somebody taking his place, whether it's through free agency or what have you. It doesn't really matter. Eric Staal is not part of the future at this point. He has run his course, despite the fact that when we acquired him, he was, he was kind of going to be the guy. He was going to be the guy to show Sam Reinhart the ropes. Now, let's take a look at Eric Staal as a second line center this year. All right. So shooting categories are really good. Like, those are Jordan Eberle's shooting categories. His puck skills are pretty decent. Yeah, his passing could be better. Yeah, his puck control could be better. Sure. But you know what? It's pretty good for a guy that's getting, on his way out. His senses are great, especially that poise, 90 poise, boys. That's one thing, poise, boys. That's one of the things that people have been stressing. We'll get that into the second. Skating could be better, but you know what? He's a big guy. That's to be expected. His physicality, he's a decently physical player. He's really strong, so that's good. And his defensive category is fantastic. I mean, you got great stick checking and defensive awareness. Shot blocking could be better, but that's okay. And he's got good face-offs at 81. So a lot of people said trade Eric Staal. Now, that could be a possibility, I suppose, but it depends on what we're getting back. Eric Stahl's got 31 points in 47 games. For a second-line player, that's a great number. That's a great number for him, and I'm not really disappointed about it, okay? Another thing that people said, we need more defensive players in our bottom 6, all right? So let's have a look at our bottom 6. Let's start with the bottom 3. I mean, everybody said we have only offensive players, okay? When I look down here, we've got two-way forwards and power forwards. We have absolutely no snipers, no playmakers. That's it. And when I think of offensive players, that's what I think of. Power forwards can be slightly offensive, so you do have to watch them. His defense is pretty good, though. Look at that shot blocking, stick checking, defensive awareness. It's all really good at 85, 89, 87, all right? His skating's good, too. His physicality is really good. His poise isn't even that bad at 75. That's an okay number. I mean, he's 28 years old. That's going to go up. Marcus Foligno is a serviceable third-line player. And if we take a look at him, he's got 15 points. He's a -5, but he's playing third-line minutes, all right? They're shutdown role. Then you got Zemgus Girgensons, two-way forward. He's got pretty good defense. I'm not too upset about that. He's not going to ever be contributing offensively, despite a pretty good shot. And there you go. See, 11 points, -9. All right, so it does need to be better there. Then you got Stadnik. He's a two-way forward, right winger, 82 overall, a great shot, 4 yellow stars. The guy has potential, but he's one of those prospects. One of those prospects with really weird categories where they're up and down and all over the place. And you guys will see this when you get later in. There's guys that'll have like really, really good shooting categories and really absolutely shit defensive categories, stuff like that. Even look at the difference in the accuracy versus the power, for a two-way forward. He's one of those weird ones. And then look at the puck skills. Puck control 91, but then the next highest one is deking at 80. So he's one of those weird prospects, and yeah, his poise is only 65. So if there was somebody that'd be willing to deal for maybe a grinder on the third line, it might be Carson Stadnick. If we could move Stadnick for a good defensive grinder, and maybe a pick of some kind, I'd be fine with that. I'd be okay with that. Then we take a look at the fourth line, okay? So another two-way forward, William Carrier. He's 4 yellow stars. He's pretty much there. Defensively, he's not the best. He's only 3 stars. But if you look at the category, shot blocking is really the only one of concern. His defensive awareness could be better, yes. His shooting category is really not that great. His skating is really the only positive thing. We could move William Carrier, and he is at the end of his life here. Then you've got Nicholas Waugh. And Nicholas Waugh is a decent prospect. To be completely honest, he is a good player. I think that he could end up coming up. His skating is fantastic. His shooting could be better. But he has promise, and that's one of the things that I like about him. He's 22, he's young. So, but his poise is also 65. So now, one of the other things that if we're talking about poise, we should go through here and look at the poise, because that's been a big thing for everybody. So, Johnny Gaudreau is 75 poise. I'd say 75 poise and higher is going to be okay for me. Sam Reinhart, he's young, we're going to expect it, 75 poise. All right. Jordan Eberle, he's probably got 80 poise. Yep, 80 poise because he's in the prime of his career. All right. Anthony DeLuca, probably 70. Oh, sorry, I saw it. 65, so he's low. Eric Staal, we know, is 90. Konechny has 65 poise. So there's 2 guys with low poise right there. Foligno, Marcus Foligno, he's got 75. We knew that. Gergensen's, what was his? Gergensen's 75. They're young. So I think that maybe the best thing for us, yeah, might be moving Carson Stadnick and maybe William Carrier. And if we could trade those guys for some veteran grinders, I think specifically grinders, just because that's what we're missing right now in the lineup. If we could trade them, Pavel Zack has got pretty good poise. I would hang on to him because he does have that 4.5-star potential, despite the fact that I think he may never, ever get there. All right. The second thing, actually, I should go through some more of these comments so you guys get an idea. Need some physicality, at least 2 grinders on the bottom 6, and try trading one of those two-way D-men for a top 4 or top 6 defensive defenseman with a 4.5-star defensive category. All right, so let's have a look at that one. That's one of the suggestions. If I look at Dhaliwal, he's got 4.5-star defensive category. There's your top 4. So you're saying we need another one? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. I don't understand. He's got 4.5-star defensive categories right now, and he's a good defenseman. But I agree with the grinder on that one. Bottom 6 should be more defensively minded players. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, and then the guy says your bottom 6 forwards are all offensive minded players and aren't great. Get better bottom defensive forwards. Well, they're defensive. Almost every single one of them are defensive. It's just the poise, and I think poise is going to come down to a big one. Maybe defensive minded forwards in the top line. I'm not sure. Here's another one that kind of drove me crazy. Kind of. Slowly acquiring all the guys you had last GM. Okay, who did we have last GM that was in this one? Who did we have? It was the Oilers. So maybe Jordan Eberle and Konechny. The rest of the forwards, I don't think we had any of these guys. Don't think we had a single one of them. Defensively, we may have had Bowie. So 3 players. 3 players, and we're slowly acquiring. Everybody liked that comment, too. I don't understand that one. I really don't understand. Let me see here. Too many offensively minded forwards. One word, realistic. Everybody says unrealistic. You have a very weak team. Your third and fourth line suck, and the wingers are weak for the first line and second line. Jesus, like this is the kind of shit I have to read, and like you have to try and sift through it, right? You have to try and sift through it. Like Eberle's only got 35 points, only 9 goals, so that's a concern. Johnny Gaudreau. He's 47 points, 42 points, 47 games. Nice. I like Johnny. He's doing well. That top line, no concerns. I'm really not too concerned about it. The second line, though, if I look at these guys, like, he's at 24 points in 47 games. He could be better. All right, he could be better. I do believe that our main, because, yeah, 5 points, or plus 5, 27 points. They're in the plus, and we know Eric Staal is doing well. We already checked him. So I think that maybe moving Carrier and Stadnick, and maybe we can pick up somebody that's more defensive, not necessarily defensive, but that has more poise. You know, maybe we'll find somebody like that. Now, the other thing that somebody said was, you've got too many right-handed shooting defensemen. And I was like, well, do I really? Do I have? He said, I've got all right-handed and no left-handed. So I started going through. I'm like, yeah, I know Kevin Shattenhurst's right-handed. Yeah, absolutely. Is Justin Falk right-handed? Justin Falk, he's right-handed. Wow, okay. All right, Dhaliwal, you know, he's a prospect. He could be anything. Right-handed. Rasmus Ristolainen, I know he's right-handed. There's another one. So that's 4 so far. Anthony DeAngelo, right-handed. Another one. And Madison Bowie, is he? Yes. Every single one is right-handed. So that does concern me a little bit. And this is probably the most valid point, I think, besides the grinder thing, was that we have too many right-handed defensemen. So, my thoughts are, leave these guys top 2. It doesn't really matter that much. I would say move Ristolainen for a veteran. All right, let's add somebody with 80-plus poise. Let's add somebody with 80-plus poise. Not that Ristolainen's a bad player, but we do need to change the face of our franchise right now. You know, Ristolainen has been good. You know, he's a -1 right now with 11 points. He's not a goal scorer. He's not a goal scorer. I never expect him to be. He's good defensively. I think that Ristolainen should be moved for some kind of a veteran presence. These guys are vets. Sure, absolutely. But then the bottom 6 are all young guys. If we could just throw one veteran in there, I think we'd be better off. And I think Rasmus Ristolainen has the lowest upside, so I think he possibly might be that one, and he's also got the best return between Bowie and DeAngelo. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. So what I think I want to do is get a left-handed defenseman. I don't know if we'll get another one, but we'll see what we can kind of conjure up here going forward. And then we need to get 2 grinders for the bottom 6, all right? Because Carrier's worked his way. Stadnik is just another player that's identical to a bunch of other ones. Let's get a grinder in there. Let's change things up a little bit. I do agree with you guys on that one. I know it's a lot of trades, and you guys don't like seeing this many trades, but we're going to try and make this one realistic. Maybe I should go to the... yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go trade players. We'll work with this. So, Dollywall, good trade value. Let's not worry about Ristolainen right now. Let's do a Stadnik, all right? Let's do a Stadnik, and let's see what Anaheim can offer for a right... it doesn't have to be a right winger, but a guy that's a veteran player. This is Rick Nash. Rick Nash. Oh, my goodness. 83 overall he's dropped to. Not what I'm looking for. Not what I'm looking for. I am looking for a veteran, but not that kind of veteran. So not in Anaheim. Arizona, we've got good rep with them. We're looking for... you know what? I'm going to sort by age. All right, and then we'll just look for guys that are in that range. Roussel, no, I don't think we need another... we need a right winger, very specifically. We need a right winger. Because I bet you Roussel's got... oh, he's only got 75 poise. And he is a grinder. So we do need to find that grinder. That's the other thing. Okay. Boston. Oop, age. All right, they got a lot of old players. They do, that's true. Louis Eriksson, he's only 81 overall, 34 years old. Man, he dropped quick, hey? Lucic, no. Caron, no. Riley Smith, no. We don't. Well, he's got 79 poise. That's a pretty well-poised player for a young guy. But no, I don't need him for the third line. That's pretty much it. Everybody else is older. All right, Calgary. Let's have a look here. Oh, by age. Mason Raymond, again, a left winger. Devin Setaguchi. I mean, Yannick Hansen would be a good option. He is a grinder. He's got okay defense. His poise is 78. I wonder, hold on. We're looking for a very specific type player. So let's go to the trade block. And let's go to... whoop. We're going to remove this one. Okay. So what we're going to be looking for is a forward. We're looking for a third line checking forward. Minimum age of 27. And I want to get poise as this rating. Poise. And I think that 80 plus is what we're going to be looking for on poise. 80 plus, all right? Now, I don't think you can actually choose their player type, but I want to find somebody that's got at least 4-star defense, at least 4-star physical. I really don't care too much about the other ones. He's going to be a defensive player. So, right wingers, you've got Drew Stafford. You've got Troy Brouwer, all right? Troy Brouwer is a grinder. 83 overall. 34 years old. He is a veteran presence. 85 poise. All right. And he's going to bring that physical game. He's going to bring that physical game. He's got great defense. And he's not actually bad in the shot category. So Troy Brouwer would be an option. Drew Stafford, 34 years old, 2-way forward. Physical, not really. I do like the fact that Troy Brouwer has that 85. All right. Brian Bickle. Yeah, 83 overall. Power forward. Not looking for a power forward. Spalling and Ablocator. Boyd Gordon, Trevor Lewis, 33 years old, 80 poise, Boyle, 80 poise, Nolan. I think that Brouwer would be our best option. I know he's older. I understand that. I see that. His salary is $3 million. He's got 1 year left at that. So I'm going to explore this. All right, Stadnik for Brouwer. We've got so much cap space, so it's not really that big of an issue. So if we threw Stadnik their way, they don't want him. They don't want to get rid of Brouwer. But definitely one-sided right now, all right? So we're going to be taking a little bit of salary. But I feel like, well, you know what? What we might be able to do here is, what's the other guy's name? Where's that left winger? Carrier. All right, let's take Stadnik off. Carrier and Brouwer, yeah, you know what? Not quite. You're not going to be able to get it. So I think that we're going to have to throw Stadnik on there to get Brouwer. Okay, so Troy Brouwer. And we could ask for something in return like a pick. I think a pick would be not a second. I don't think we could ask for a second, could we? No, not a second. I think we'd have to ask for a third and I think a fourth to make this go through. And even then, we'll take the fourth off. But this just changes things up a little bit. You know what I mean, guys? Changes it up a little bit. Like, Stadnik is a good player. I'm not doubting that. But he's only got 5 points. And he's a -8. Something needs to change in the bottom 6. And I do believe you guys are right. We do need to add a grinder. And we do need to add a veteran presence. Plain and simple. So let's see if this will go through. Will it? No. You've met the block needs well enough. But the value you have on the table is too far off. So too far off. If we take the fourth off and just do the third, what do they do? There you go. So just the third, that's not bad of a trade. We add something that's a little bit better for us. A veteran player, sure. Is he older? Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, we need to do something different. So now, in addition to third line checkers, I'm going to go to the fourth line guys and see if we can't find somebody else. So there's one guy that's considered fourth line. He's a grinder, 81 overall, 80 poise for Zack Smith. He's the only one that's considered fourth line that has those categories. You know what, I'm going to actually edit this a little bit. We're going to drop the physical side down. And still Zack Smith. If we drop the defensive side down, that's the only way we can. And it's still Zack Smith. So he's the only one that's got that kind of poise. So what happens, I'm going to clear this off. I'm going to add a forward, any forward, and I'm just going to go with poise. All right, I'm just going to go with poise, and we'll see what we get. All right, overall, no. We're going to go all the way down, poise. All right, poise. I wish you could go back the other way. Or just have, like, individual numbers. We could just change the 7. All right. So there's... Oh, shit. No, we want... Oh, shit. Did my poise go away now? Yeah, hold on. There we go. Okay. So forward. Any fourth line forward. Oh, not third line. Any fourth line forward. With good poise. So you see these guys with poise. You got Derek Dorsett. He's 80 poise. David Booth. 35 overall, 35 years old at this point, 78 overall, not much. Defensive is shit. Zack Smith is the only one that has some kind of poise that's considered a fourth line player. All right, so, and he's a pretty good player. He's just not. All right, I would trade for Zack Smith. 80 poise on the fourth line. That's not bad. We're gonna throw what's his name on here. Where is he? Carrier. All right, they want Carrier too, so that helps. And we could get a pick back for him. Maybe not a third. No, not a third. It'd have to be a fourth round pick. Yeah, it'd have to be a fourth for Carrier and Zack Smith. Now we could also throw their way, because we are getting a center. If we threw their way Nicholas Waugh, and then we asked for somebody back that would be a left winger. They've got Matt Pumple. 70 poise, not something I want. Definitely don't want a sniper. So no, not here anyway. Clapperton. He's got 65 poise. Yeah, no, not happening. And these guys are all young. Clark MacArthur, fourth line. Oh, Clark MacArthur could be a good option. Clark MacArthur, 80 poise. Clark MacArthur, two-way forward. We could throw him on there. No, I like the idea of having Waugh on. I mean, Waugh, I know he is a center. We could play him on the right wing. Yeah, I'm going to keep Waugh for now. All right, I'm going to keep... Whoa. There you go. So, I think William Carrier for Zack Smith in the fourth. That'll change the dynamic a little bit. Give us a better player. Will it go through? And it will. There you go. So, that makes things a little bit different. Okay, so now the other one that we wanted to look at was... Where is he here? Ristolainen. Rasmus Ristolainen. Let's see if we can find a dance partner for him. So, Philadelphia. So, basically, we're going to be looking for a defenseman. That's fine. Defense. Okay. Defense, we are going to be getting somebody that's a left-handed shooter. So, Michael Del Zotto, he's an offensive defenseman, 85 overall. Good defensive categories. Would they trade him? Maybe. And he does bring 80 poise. He does bring 80 poise, so that's nice. So let's back out first before we get into this. We know what we want to offer. Now let's clear it. We're going to be looking for a defenseman. Let's look for a top 4 defenseman. I don't care about that. Don't care about the age. I want to get out. I want the defense up there to 4.5 stars. Don't care anything else about really anything. We're just going to go to poise. I think we're going to try and focus on poise a little bit more going forward here. And then once this is done, I'll let you guys, we'll see if we can make a trade here. 80 poise. Let's see who we get for defense. Lots of guys. Lots of guys have poise. So instead of 80, let's boost it up to 85. And let's see what kind of a, let's see what kind of a player we're getting with 85 poise. No results. Oh, well, that's why. Because I glitched it out. Hold on. 85 to 0. There we go. So there are quite a few. As you can see, there are quite a few guys that are considered 80 or strong defensive players. So now we're just going to try and eliminate more. What else are we looking for in a player? Well, we're looking for a physical player. All right, so at least 4 stars. There we go. Well, you know what? Actually, I'm not looking for a physical player to replace Ristolainen because Dollywall's not good. I do want the defensive category, but what I'm looking for is 4-star shooting. Okay, so now we're down to Justin Schultz, Slava Voinov, Jack Johnson, Mike Green, Keith Yandle, Eric Johnson, and Alexander Edler. All right, so let's take a look at Justin Schultz. I mean, I know he's an Oiler and we're going to lose shit, but he's a right-handed player, right? We're looking for a lefty. Mike Green, he's a righty, right? Yep. Keith Yandle, he's a lefty. 33 years old, though. That's a problem. Eric Johnson, he's a righty. Slava Voinov, he's a righty. So really, like, there's not much. Just Edler. No, I'm not looking to Edler. I think the only one that we could actually go for, because Jack Johnson's 85. Or, sorry, left-handed player, 87 overall. He would be good on that second line. But I think that I'm looking at Keith Yandle, 33 years old, offensive defenseman, does bring that kind of play to it. Not bad. Not bad. Now, I would be willing to drop the shooting category a little bit. All right, let's drop the shooting category a little bit. Let's see what kind of guys that qualifies. A few more. All right, a few more. Now, I think in terms of age, I'm going to add an age limit to this one. We're going to do an age maximum. Age maximum of 33. All right, so that we don't get anybody older than that. And then we look at this. Nicholas Hjalmarsson, left-handed shooter, defensive defenseman. No thanks. No. Carl Alsner, left-handed defensive defenseman. No. I still think that Keith Yandle would be our best option. He's 33 years old. He's in the prime of his career. He's actually dipping down into the other side, but we do need that poise. What kind of poise does Keith Yandle have? 85, right? So that's really good. I'm going to go and see what we can explore here for Keith Yandle, and then if we can't do anything really big right now. So Keith Yandle, and let's throw on Ristolainen. So they want Ristolainen, so that's good. They don't want to get rid of Yandle, and we are off by a little bit. So we would have to give up something a little bit more here, like a Bonvie or a Hannon. What's the deal with Hannon? Yeah, 4 yellow star playmaker. I mean, I think we can... If Bonvie is a playmaker too, he's a sniper, left wing, good shot. I mean, we got enough centers. We've got enough centers. I don't think we're going to have a problem there. That's a good throw-in because they don't need to make a trade for it. And I think that's pretty close, to be honest, for Keith Yandle. They may ask for a little bit more. We got a good relationship with them, so I don't think it's a big issue. And I think that this improves us dramatically because Ristolainen's a good player, right? He's good. He's good defensively, but his senses aren't good. His poise is not nearly as good as Keith Yandle's, 85. I mean, and his offensive awareness is much higher. It's the age, right? He's 33 versus 25. That's a big difference. And I'd like to say that Ristolainen is part of the future, but he's just not proving to be. And I know I'm going off a little bit on the board with this, but I'm adding a left-handed player. He's an offensive defenseman. We don't have one of those in the lineup. So we've added 2 grinders, and now we're going to add an offensive defenseman. I think that this is something that could benefit us long-term. Well, sorry, we do have one offensive defenseman, Anthony D'Angelo. But I think this is going to benefit us. I believe it's good for us. Let's see if this will go through. Will it? And it will. I'm happy to accept this proposal and consider it a done deal. So now, obviously, we've changed things up a little bit again. And I understand that some of you are going to be frustrated. But bear with me on this. We're going to try some things. We do need to... I think there was no doubt that we needed to make some changes. Because more importantly than anything in keeping this thing realistic is that we need to add players that are good enough. And we also need to try and win consistently. So... this is what we've got it looking like now. We've got Foligno, Girgensons, and Brouwer. You've got Zack, Smith, and Waugh. All right, the top 6 remains the same. Defensively, we've got Shattenkirk and Falk, Yandle and Dollywall, D'Angelo and Bowie. What do you guys think about that? Now, I don't know about the possibility of trading D'Angelo for another 2-way defenseman or Bowie for another defensive defenseman. I don't know what you guys feel about that. Bowie has some upside. He's got that shot, which is nice. But I don't know how you guys feel about this. You got to let me know down in the comment section below, please, okay? For those of you that don't think that I read the comments, look what we just did in this episode. Look what we did in this episode. We just went through this, and I dissected things, I broke things down, I weighed your guys' options, and had a look at everything that was going on. All right? I mean, it's the way the game goes, and it's the way I want to try and interact with you guys going forward. So if you like these trades, great. If not, well, hopefully there's something you can find some interest in, because more than anything is I want to make you guys happy, and I want to make sure that you guys understand that this is your team as much as it is my team. I'm just the captain of the ship. I've got all my, first, second, and third mates hanging out, trying to figure out what's best for this team, what's best for this franchise going forward. Right now, we've made a couple small changes. I don't want to do anything drastic because we do have solid players and a lot of guys that are on the cusp of turning into veterans. Whoop! Dropping controllers. Slipped off my lap. So, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit me up on Twitter at Target18 and on Facebook. Links are down in the description below for both of those. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you want to. And more importantly, of course, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button or tell your friends to subscribe. Okay, guys? Until next time, I'm Target Audience, and I'll catch you guys out on the ice.